Let's review the most common sentence errors in the English language, and these are grammatical mistakes that you often see in people's writing. So there are 8 sentences here, and I'll let you have a look at these. You can pause the video if you like and see if you can spot the mistakes yourself, and then you can go through and find out what the answers are, what the mistakes are called, and also a little bit about how you can fix them. So let's go fairly quickly. The first one reads, Cindy loves watching the Great British Bake Off. And this one should have a period here, and we call this a comma splice. So a comma splice, and often this is abbreviated to CS. Okay, so we need a period here because these are really 2 separate sentences. The second one does have a period, but this one ends with a fragment. And a fragment sentence is an incomplete sentence. It cannot stand by itself as a sentence. The third one joins 2 separate sentences together with no intervening punctuation. So right here, we should have a period, and because there's no punctuation in between, we call this a fused sentence. We fused 2 things together. Often you'll see this as FS. We fuse 2 things together with no punctuation in between. A number of these kinds of mistakes are also called run-on sentences because the sentence goes on for too long, so you may see that designation as well. Okay, the fourth one here, Finicky Watsop's tabloid has been bought out by a consortium recently of Welsh investors. This word recently is in the wrong place, and we call this a misplaced modifier. So a misplaced modifier, there we go, and it should be somewhere else. So you might say has recently been bought out. Okay, that's what it really goes with. It goes with the verb, not with the consortium. We can have all sorts of misplaced modifiers. We can have adjectives or adverbs in the wrong place, but we can also have entire phrases and clauses. Now, one particular modifier that's not simply in the wrong place, but also kind of badly attached, is called a dangling modifier. So it's a phrase, especially at the beginning of a sentence, that's dangling. That's not properly attached. And the implication with a dangling modifier is usually that it's attached to the wrong thing. So in this case, John is the subject here, and it sounds like John is smoking and crackling, but this should refer to the flames, and that's why we have to do some rewriting. Then we get to the next sentence here. It appears that an octopus may actually devour a jellyfish and then use their stingers as a weapon. And the word there is a pronoun, and it doesn't quite agree with what came before. So we have a jellyfish. You can see here that a jellyfish is a singular noun, and this is plural. So we call this a shift in perspective. And a shift in perspective can occur both with pronouns and with verbs. So there are quite a few different kinds of shifts in perspective. And the next sentence here, which deals with a pronoun reference problem, pronoun references overlap with shifts in perspective, so they can be a little bit hard to distinguish. The last 2 then, as I've mentioned, this one is a problem with pronoun reference. And here we have this pronoun he. Okay. And pronouns often have to refer back to something that came before. The pronoun has to have some kind of antecedent or some kind of word that came before that it refers back to. It seems like there is an antecedent, John Dunn, but we have this finicky little rule which says that you cannot have your antecedent in the possessive case. It should not have an apostrophe S. Now, we have a whole separate page and some videos and so on about pronoun reference, and so you can have a look at that. But this is the basic error, that the pronoun doesn't refer back nicely to something that came before. And then the last one, we start with each, and we have this verb have, and these 2 things don't line up. So this should say each has forgotten. Okay, and then we also have another issue here with there, which is plural, but we'll ignore that for now. So each is singular, and that's why we should have has. And we call this problem a subject-verb agreement problem. So the subject and the verb don't agree with each other. So subject, verb, agreement problem. Those are the most common errors to watch out for, and do some exercises on the website to really get at, being able to spot them. And in no time at all, you'll get better at avoiding these in your own writing.